Welcome back to my channel. I recently upgraded from the Dream Machine Special Edition to the Dream Machine Beast. The person who bought my Dream Machine Special Edition, he was relatively new to UniFi, had a few parts, but he had questions about cameras. He noticed I had a few cameras and he asked what type of cameras to use. And I said, wow, that's a whole can of worms. There's different cameras that you put in different locations, different form factors. Then there's also different features that you have to have for each camera. Then you also have to think about your NVR, your network video recorder, and what's all being stored to, about how many cameras you can add. So there's a whole series of things you have to know before stepping into UniFi Protect, which is their surveillance system, about what to use. So the three things you need to know for UniFi Protect is you need to know which console you have. Not all consoles, which are gateways, which are the things that actually run the network, can run Protect. So all the Dream Machines, Special Editions, Beasts, the Fiber, and I think the Max are all capable of running network and Protect. The lower end gateways that can do the Wi-Fi are not able to also run Protect. So you have to make sure first that your gateway is able to run Protect before you start. Next thing you got to think about is what size hard drive do you need for your surveillance system. So there's two things. You want to think about how much time you want to have recorded back onto, because these things will be recording constantly. And then you also have to think about how many cameras you're going to add in the future. So if you're doing like a basic setup where you're going to have maybe 2 cameras at the front of your house, maybe 1 doorbell, 1 camera, and then 1 camera in your backyard, a total of 3 cameras, probably a 4 terabyte drive will be enough for that sort of scenario. But if you're looking at getting 8, 10, 15 cameras, you're going to be pushing the limits of like what one hard drive will be good for. So you may be looking at an NVR, which has multiple drives in it. I currently have 10 cameras and I just have the Beast with 1 drive in it currently. And I have an 8 terabyte drive and I'm only getting about 2 weeks of continuous recording. So I'm looking to get a bigger drive in the future. But if I had any more cameras, I'd probably get a dedicated NVR and I have multiple drives in there and have it in a RAID format for some redundancy. Next, we're going to be talking about specific types of cameras for form factor. So the traditional camera would be a bullet camera, which is more like what you'd see in an office building scenario where you want the criminals to see the cameras to not rob you. But in a home setting, most people want their cameras to be a little bit more sleek and not noticeable so it doesn't like bother your neighbors. So for almost all use case scenarios, I would say the turret cameras are the best because you get good low light performance, nighttime performance, and they're just the best all-around camera. You can also go with a bullet camera if you really want the cameras to be sticking out or noticeable to other people. But I would say for the most case, the turret cameras are great. The only other camera that some people like to consider is the older dome cameras. Now, I do have a dome camera. I have 2 dome cameras, and I would say they're not good for nighttime because what happens is the IR sensor, which brightens things up at night, reflects off the inside of the dome. So you don't get as clear of a picture, so they're not as great for nighttime performance. So I don't recommend them unless you really don't want people to be able to tell which direction your camera is pointed. That would be the only case I would use them, but personally I would just use 2 turret cameras most likely in those scenarios to have both directions covered. So for the front of my home, that's most likely where people are going to want most of their cameras. I have 5 cameras in the front of my house, which is maybe a little bit more than necessary, but definitely the most necessary one is your doorbell camera because you want it for package detection and you want it for people coming up to your door who's seeing coming up to your door. So number 1 most important camera. I went with the Doorbell Pro version because it also has a downward facing camera for package detection and it's got a 2K camera which does a decent job of capturing things in the distance. One thing you might not think about is you're just thinking about who comes up to your door. But if your doorbell camera is pointed away from where your other cameras are, you're gonna have footage from a location that you wouldn't normally get. And that's become invaluable for me for certain circumstances when something's happened at one of my neighbor's properties. But it is only a 2K camera and it's the best UniFi has right now. I'm thinking in the future they're going to be coming out with a good 4K camera, and I would upgrade to that in the future when that comes out. The next camera I have at my front walkway is a G5 Dome, which I wanted as a sleek camera so people couldn't tell really which direction it was pointing. And this one really doesn't have as much problems as my other dome camera with the IR filter not working at night. So it's a pretty good camera. I use it because it has two-way audio as well, so you can talk to somebody as well through it. But because I have the doorbell, it's a bit of a redundant process. It was the second camera I got, and the turret cameras weren't out then. If I were to do it all over again, I would probably just buy a standard turret camera. We're going to go into later on, we're going in the video, we'll talk about all the different types of turret cameras, because there's a lot of turret cameras, as they're UniFi's best-selling camera, but there's a lot to know about them, which we'll talk about later on. Next camera I chose, I think it was the third camera I got, I have the G5 Pro. Now, the G5 Pro is an expensive camera, but it has additional capabilities that other cameras can't do. So one, the microphone is unbelievable. You can hear people talking across the street, and as you can see, it's at the top of my house. So the microphone quality is exceptional. It also has a 2x zoom optical option, so you can really frame out what you don't need. I think I have mine at about a 1.5, just to crop out the front of my property and just have the street there to monitor that area. I have other cameras for monitoring my front yard area, so having that feature in there is a great additional feature. Now, as this was put in 4 years ago, what would I change? I would probably put in the G6 PTZ, because it would cover the full 180 degrees of my house, and it has a track function where you can have it surveillance mode, where you can have it focus on one side of your house, maybe at the left side, and then you can have 20 seconds later, you can get it pan to the right side automatically and do motion tracking through there. So I'd probably put that camera up there now if I had that option, but I didn't have that at the time. I also have a G5 Dome Ultra at the front of my house, and in retrospect, it was the wrong camera to use. It has a few issues. One, it doesn't do any audio, so you don't have any sound from it. Two, it's a dome camera, so it really suffers from the IR filter being on at night. I had to shut mine off because it just looks like it's foggy outside all the time if the IR filter's on. Some people have put desiccant bags inside to help mitigate it, but I plan to switch out that camera and put that one inside. It's meant to be an indoor camera, first of all, so don't mount it outdoors. I'm going to use it as my future inside garage camera, and I will be probably upgrading to a G6 PTZ turret, so it can, G6 turret camera PTZ, so it can rotate around and monitor as it's right on the corner of the house, to be able to monitor 270 degrees of my property. The last camera I have up front is the most recent addition to my cameras. It is a G6 Bullet. And I was saying don't use bullet cameras, but in this case, it actually worked out quite well. I have a tall hedge on the front of my house, and my G5 Pro for many years was able to monitor the whole front of my house without any issue. But as my hedge grew, I wasn't able to see the front of my property. And of course, what happens, somebody came and broke into my car last summer, and I wasn't able to capture the footage because the hedge was too tall. So I needed a solution for this. And as it's right on the front of my property, I didn't want to be too bothersome to the neighbors having a camera on a pole sticking out. So I ended up putting it in a birdhouse. So it just looks like a nice little birdhouse at the front of my property instead of a camera watching the front of the road. It's just there to monitor my cars out front, that people don't break into them or anything else happening out front. But I don't think the neighbors would like a big camera standing up on a pole in front of, out the front of my house. So I hid it in that scenario so it doesn't offend anybody. Okay, next we have turret cameras. I have 3 turret cameras, and that shows that they're really the most versatile camera. Pretty much every other camera I just have 1 each of, but the turrets I have 3 because they end up being the most versatile camera. I have most of them mounted in the soffit, which is like the flat area underneath your roof. So I have 1 in my lower patio watching over the lower patio, and then I have 2 out on my garage. They are both pitched facing opposite directions, so I can get the traffic coming up and down my lane from both different sides to cover the whole lane. For my backyard, I have two cameras. The first camera I got with the G5 Flex. It's a very cheap camera. It's a very good camera. It does 2K quality, which is more than enough for pretty much all locations. And it was just the best deal at the time for that location. Covers my whole backyard. I have no issues with it. If I were to replace it, I would replace it again with a turret camera because it sits a lot more flush. It doesn't stick down as much as this one does. This one's a little bit more invasive and doesn't fit as well. But the turret cameras weren't out at that time. And the last camera in my backyard I have is the G5 PTZ. Now this was the first PTZ they came out with. They've recently come out with the G6 PTZ, which is $100 more and is a better camera. The main thing I don't like about the G5 PTZ is you can only have one fixed home location. So when you set up the camera to the location, it'll track people when they walk around and follow them, but then it'll always go back to its initial home location. I think the whole point of having a PTZ is to monitor, 270 or at least 180 degrees. But if your camera is always facing one direction and movement happens behind it, how is it ever going to have that? The G6 PTZ solved that with software where it has zones. So you can have it focused straight ahead for 30 seconds and then rotate 180 degrees for 30 seconds. So if there is movement there, it's able to track it. I was always hoping the G5 PTZ would get that software update, but it never did, and I don't think it ever will. The G6 PTZ also has two cameras. One's a one-time optical. I think the other one's a 2x optical, and it can switch dynamically through there to zoom in. So, I don't think that's as great of a feature as just the actual having the dual zone tracking capability, which is just software. It's a real shame that the G5 PTZ never got that, because that's the only feature that I really want. But I think you have to get the G6 PTZ to get that option. Okay, a big topic is the software. So it all depends on how crazy you want to get with your surveillance system, how much of a big brother operation you want. If you're just looking to have cameras that run 24/7, track people, track pets, almost all of the UniFi cameras can do that now. Any of the G5 cameras are more than capable of doing it. If you're stepping up to the G6 line, you're looking for facial recognition and license plate detection. That's a real differentiation between the G5 and G6 series. So we're going to go next into the turret series because they have the vast array of cameras, and it'll apply to bullets and other type of cameras as well with the same information. So when we start at the basic, you have the G5 Turret Ultra, which is their cheapest one. It's $129. Those are the ones I've mostly purchased. They're 2K cameras. They do person detection. They do pet detection. They do package detection. They do not do face detection or license plate detection. You can get that feature. Wait for a little later on. We'll talk a little bit more about that in the future. Next, we got up to the G6 series, which is more money, but you also get face detection and license plate detection inherent in the camera, but you have to pay more for those features. Then you can go up to the AI series, which most people don't get anymore. Basically, 4K camera. It's got face detection, license plate detection, all the AI features, but it's a lower end sensor. And then you can go to the G6 Pro series, which is basically the AI version of the turret, but with a bigger sensor. But it's quite an expensive camera, so I don't think it's necessary. So that's kind of the whole range, and that'll apply to a lot of the bullet cameras too, with the basic G6 bullet, and then the AI bullet, and then the G5 and G6, and then the Pro series. That same stuff that I just talked about with the turret will basically apply to those ones as well. But the key thing to get is an AI port or an AI key. And just to be clear, if you have the AI port, it doesn't do the functions of the AI key, and the AI key does not do the functions of the AI port. This took me a lot of research to figure out how these things actually work, and I'll explain it here. as most of my cameras were G5 series when I bought them, they didn't have any of the license plate detection or face detection features. And I didn't want to go out and have to replace all my cameras with G6 series because it's just wasteful. So I ended up getting something called the AI port. Now this is a it monitors the images live, so it's pre-production processing, which means it basically adds the license plate detection and face detection that the G6 series has, and it can do multiple cameras. So I think it's 2 4K cameras or 4 2K cameras, and I don't know how many HD, but basically you get 4 of your turrets can get AI capabilities on it for $199. So it's a much better price, especially if you have the other cameras or you don't want to pay the extra money, or you're getting 4 cameras. Maybe if you're just getting 1 camera, it would make sense to get the G6 series of a turret. But if you're getting 4, it's much cheaper to get a port and get those capabilities. Now, the next thing you can get is the AI key. Now, the AI key is a whole other thing. Basically, it's post-production. So say you have a G5 camera and you don't have an AI port, it's not going to do any AI processing from that camera. So you need to have the AI port to get the post-production from the AI key or G6 series of cameras. I know it sounds very confusing, but this is how it works. And basically what the AI key does is after the image comes in, it uses all the smart detection, so the face detection, license plate, and will write like a little story about what happened. You know, person walking a white dog down a gravel path with a red hat. And then you can search that person with red hat walking dog. You'll get all that information in there. So you get language search capabilities. You just type in a sentence and it gives you that. If you don't have the AI key, you only have the various options that are in there, like blue car, I think, or car, or you can search car, but you can't search like BMW car or whatever type of car. So you get that really granular level of search that the AI key does. You need a 2.5 gigabit switch, and you need PoE+++ for it to work. So I needed a PoE injector to get it to work. I bought a PoE 2.5 gig switch, but it didn't have PoE+++, so I wasn't able to use it initially. So that's an important thing to know when you get that. The AI port just needs a standard gigabit connection and PoE, so it's quite easy to add that into your network. Thanks for watching. If you like this type of content, please subscribe. If you have any comments, leave them down below. If I missed anything, please add it in. Or if there's any other type of camera comparisons you want in there, please let me know. And if you have any confusions about the AI key and AI port, leave them in the comments below too. I will try my best to answer all the comments. It is quite a confusing topic. And please subscribe to see more content like this. See you next time. Bye.
Bye. See you next time. Bye.